Thank you everyone for staying back. Hopefully it's the best speaker of the day. But look, first of all I'd like to thank Phil. Thank you very much. Good afternoon everyone. Thank you Phil and the Master Builders for this opportunity to speak today. Signature Stairs, we manufacture and install timber staircases, and we just want to talk to you a little bit about some of the issues that are affecting the staircase industry. Might help you design and develop and build better stairwells and staircases and better outcomes for your customers. Sustainability. Sustainability is one of the challenges that the staircase industry is facing. This is like all sectors of the building industry. The staircase industry is changing, and it seems to be changing at an increasing rate. We've got changes to the BCA, we've got occupation, health and safety issues, which are pretty heavy at the moment, falling from heights and things like that, and also we've got increased design requirements. We're here today to talk about sustainability. With urban consolidation, which is becoming an increasing trend, the need for access and regress from a dwelling is increasing, be that a lift, a staircase, a ramp, an elevator, in whatever way, any way, shape or form. Access and regress is going to be an increasing issue for the industry right across the board as we start to build more apartment type buildings, two-storey townhouses and those things. This is going to be an increasing issue, not just in terms of getting a person up to a dwelling and down from that dwelling, but also getting their goods, their fridges, cupboards and all those sort of things, shopping and everything else like that. In February 2009, we just did a survey of the northern suburbs, inner northern suburbs of Melbourne, and of 140 sites that we called into, only 22% of them were single storey. And that is a massive change, certainly an increase in demand. Right, the other issue we've got is our ageing population. It's not a passing fad, and certainly does affect staircases and stairwells greatly. For any of you who have got an elderly parent or someone who's slightly disabled, sore leg or something like that, instantly a staircase that is very, very easy to get up and down when you're able-bodied can be a problem straight away. Right. The other issue in terms of sustainability we've got is resource utilisation. In staircases 20 years ago, predominantly timber was being used. These days we marry timber, we're marrying steel, glass, many plastics, concrete of course, we've still got our concrete stairs, and resource utilisation is extremely important and something that we'll talk about today. And the other issue too is the biodiversity and climate change. Staircase structure. I suppose by saying staircase structure, we're covering many things. We're not just covering the staircase, we're also covering the stairwell and its surrounding areas. We're also covering the design of that staircase. This is one very, very typical. This is a unit development in Doncaster, a fairly basic staircase. In this case, the client has chosen to go for an open staircase. All right. We thought this was a very, very good example because it covers many of the things that affect the sustainability of the home in terms of its space utilisation. In this case, the staircase is open. It's great, it lets in a lot of natural light. Natural light's fed into the room. The actual kitchen is this way underneath the staircase. So it leaves a lot of light in. It's coming through the window, the stairs well lit. However, there is a balance to that. There is some gains and there is a loss. The loss is that space can't be utilised. It can't be utilised for storage in any way, shape or form. We can't put cupboards in and things like that. For a dwelling that's cupboard poor and storage poor, that's not a really great staircase. All right. Natural light's fantastic, makes the staircase a lot safer, and the windows allowed light to come through. The next issue in terms of design that really comes up and hits us quite often is the constant argument of winders versus landings. In many respects, winders are easier to walk up and down than it is to step, where you actually, in the process of starting one flight and finishing another, which happens with a landing, However, it never shocks me how many times I go to a house where we've installed a staircase with a landing, and sure enough, there's a little seat on the landing, and that's where mum has a rest when she's walking up and down the staircase. In terms of our ageing population, what's the best answer? The reality is, probably in terms of a resting point on a staircase, the landing is probably the better option. All right? Having said that, once we start putting landings into staircases, each staircase is going to require at least 1.5 square metres of extra space that's taken out of your dwelling. You know, that might be enough room to turn a study into a bedroom. You know, if you're building 10 units and you're selling them as 3-bedroom rather than 2-bedroom and a small study, instantly that 1.5 square metres becomes quite important. It's important to everyone. All right. Just moving on quickly. Safety features. What is a safe stair and what is a dangerous stair? Anyone can fall down a staircase. The Monash Uni did research a few years ago and it found that 90% of staircase accidents happened on stairs with less than 3 rises. All right? Very, very extensive research, extremely well done, and a very, very interesting report for the staircase industry. People walking out their back steps, bang, falling over. Split level staircases, sunken lounge rooms, all those sort of things. Surprisingly, for us, was that people tend not to fall down full staircases that often. If the staircase turns or it has winders, what tends to happen is if they do start to fall, they tend to stop because they hit something. The stair moves at right angles and injuries aren't as great. Long straight flights don't often lend themselves to that. This case here, this staircase on the left here was done in a unit development in St Albans. It's just one of our developers. He's a bottom end developer. Pumps out the homes. The staircase is carpeted. The timber floor has an excellent contrast. A very, very good safety point. You'll be very, very surprised how often that contrast in surfaces is really important, particularly to the elderly people. It's a lot easier for them to get up and down. And they actually see the difference in surface between one, they're actively walking up and down a stair, and either the ground floor and the first floor. Mark, can you just flick back to the other image? You'll notice on the staircase on the right, you've got a Tasmanian oak staircase with a Tasmanian oak floor. Right? Both surfaces are running the same way. It is surprising to me how many, particularly elderly people, don't seem to visually acknowledge the fact that they're walking off the staircase and they actually fall down the staircase onto the floor. All right? So in this case here in that unit, the builder put a couple of black non-slip strips on the floor, which help the client visually, and you'll notice there too we've also got a grab rail as well. All right, just moving back to the safety features. The other issues that we have in staircases, and the reason I've used this one here on the left as an example, is you'll notice that around the newel posts there's no sharp edges. A lot of staircases are designed with newel caps and things like that. A lot of injuries that can happen on a staircase are bumps into shoulders, into arms, and things like that. If you bump into that newel post, you'll do minor damage. If that had a sharp newel post, newel top sticking out from it, instantly you're giving yourself a pretty nasty bruise. Mightn't be important to you and I, but if you're 82 years old and you've got a blood disorder, small bruise can be quite serious. It's just little things like that. The balusters are round, the nosings are rounded, and those sort of things. You'll notice the staircase on the right there. That's the same staircase we saw before in the unit development in Doncaster. The builder sold the unit, again, to an elderly couple, and we were required to go back and put on wall rail because they couldn't get up and down the staircase. Right. Just one of those things that can change with our ageing population. All right,